right, so today we're going to dive into episode 1 of Expedition Chult, and this will be a one-on-one adventure with Bob Carter. Bob has been a friend of mine for 20 plus years, which is crazy to think. He's like a brother to me at this point. So we've gamed together for years, and I finally got him to come on and let's play a game online together. So before we jump in, I want to introduce Bob, and not just only that he's playing in the game, but also he's an awesome voice actor, and he's also an amazing coach. So if you are interested in voiceover work at all, you should check out his website. It's neighborhoodstudioatlanta.com. I'll put a link in the description below. You should definitely check him out if you're interested in doing any voiceover work, or if you're just a cool DM and want to say, I want to work on some voices, he can help you with that too. So he's given me some pointers. Though we haven't tackled my southern accent quite yet. But it's
man, it's you. It's trademark you.
It's
who you are.
It's a work in progress. Oh, it's a brand. Okay, we'll go with that. We'll go with that. Okay. All right. So definitely check that out. The other announcement that we want to make before we get started, with everything going on in the world right now, be sure to support your local game shop. If you do not have a local game shop, then you can support my local game shop, which is Meeple Madness in Brazelton, Georgia. They have an online store. I will put a link to it below in the description as well. So be sure, with everything going on, support local business, support your local game shop. All right. So with that, announcements are out of the way. We are going to start Expedition Chult. And as long as Bob has gamed D&D, he hasn't really gotten a good feel for Chult. We've played a couple little games.
We got a good introduction. We played a few games in Chult, and it is brutal. It is the Savage Land. It is hardcore. Yeah, so I've gotten a taste of Chult because of you. I've gotten that taste, that fear, and right in that lump in my throat of Chult. So yeah, this will be an interesting campaign, and I'm very excited and nervous because we rolled my character up completely random. And I love the stats. I mean, I got lucky on the stats that I rolled up. I mean,
so everyone understands what we're doing. So I came up with this really crazy idea a while ago where we're going to do everything completely random. So random race, random class, random background, and random stats. And your stats would be your first roll is strength, your second roll is dex, your third roll is con. So straight down the line. And it was just like,
we haven't done since first edition.
Right. So yeah. So it was just like, hey, what do we come up with? And also the other part, since we're playing a total random game, all the loot in the game is random, and a lot of the encounters, not all of them, but most of the encounters will actually be random. So what we end up doing is, if you follow us, if you join our Discord, you can actually join in the fun and roll the loot and the encounter. So you can actually kind of roll. It's not high because the numbers it's really random.
I don't care about high,
but just roll well. So tonight we have 4 rolls that were made in Discord yesterday that will come into play in this game. So it'd be exciting to see what you get and what you face is totally the fault of the people in the Discord channel. So we'll kind of jump in. So with that, we're going to dive in. First, tell us, who are you playing? Who is Bob Carter in this game? Bob Carter is going to transform in front of our eyes and become this character. So who are you playing?
Absolutely. Bob Carter will transform into a high elf. Not just any high elf, but Corundus Mirilius Faernael of House Faernael, an esteemed guild merchant, the jeweler of one of the most pristine jewelers in all of Waterdeep. House Faernael, the high elven merchants who have, they've been a stalwart part of the Waterdeep Jewelers Guild since 600 years ago. Oh. Obviously, elves live for a very long time, and so
nice.
In this particular case, the legacy of the Jewelers Guild will someday be mine.
I popped up your image on Roll20 so people can take a look at our high elf jeweler, a merchant jeweler that we rolled up. And as the story will begin, you are been working in Waterdeep. You've lived in Waterdeep, and you've also been around the nobility as you've kind of gotten a name for yourself for being able to spot really good jewels. Like you've got a real eye and a talent for it. And one of the things that a lot of the nobility have called in for you is the fact that anything from Chult is worth a lot more money than anything else because it's from Chult. It's rare. It's got this like mystique behind it. But the problem is because the value of artifacts and jewels, anything from Chult has gone up, so has counterfeiting. So to battle that, they want to, instead of buying it from some random adventurer that comes into town and says, hey, look what I got in Chult, they want to send you to the source in Port Nianzaru and actually buy jewelry in Chult. That's the way they are guaranteed that they're going to get an actual legit, Chult diamond or something like that. So you have been hired by one of the ladies of Waterdeep, a lady Amalia Castellenter, one of the more popular and prevalent lords of Waterdeep, and she has tasked you with going to pick up. She wants a very exquisite piece for court, and to do so, she has given you and trusted you with 50 platinum pieces to go, which is 500 gold, 50 platinum pieces to go to Chult and to buy her something. She's thinking like a necklace or a crown or tiara, something exquisitely made, or just the raw gem so then it can be crafted in Waterdeep. But she wants something, a statement piece is what she's saying.
Of course.
So she has booked you a trip on a boat to travel to Chult, but not just any boat, a ship, an airship named the Star Goddess. You will be flying south, and you'll be flying in this large ship. It's basically like I can pull it up. We'll have the picture speak for itself here. All right, so here's your airship you're going to be flying in. Now there are very few of these vessels in working order, and it's only reserved for nobility, kings, queens, so this is it's an honor to fly on the airship. Now you've seen a few of these flying in and out of Waterdeep. The fact that you are actually on one of these is a really big deal. So you spend the next several days flying south to Chult, and one of the things as you fly down the Sword Coast, they're actually going inland instead of out to sea because of the amount of storms. And it's just a horrific nature right now. I guess it's hurricane season, much like it is now, and out in the seas. And the general talk has been that Umberley must be truly upset because the seas have been churning and with the storms. So they're actually taking the ship inland. So we're going to take a different approach going into Chult. Instead of coming down over the water into Port Nianzaru, we're actually going to fly south over the land and then cut up. To dodge the storms. So it's a little bit longer journey, but it's much safer this way than to go over the storms.
And will we be putting into certain ports?
This is a direct...
Katla or...
It's a direct flight. It's a direct flight.
Ending.
You will be flying under the Captain Liana Howard. She is a pretty famous captain. She actually has a big naval background. And as she's gotten older and before going into retirement, she became a captain of the airship. And it's just like a noble honor. Say, hey, will you captain an airship? So she is the captain. She walks the deck proudly. She's probably upper 40s female human, blonde hair, graying a little bit. She keeps it pulled back with the tri-rim hat, also the long blue overcoat with the big sleeves kind of cuffing back. And she walks around with her saber still at her side, but it's all formality. There are weapons on board, but it's a formality. There are no pirates. They're flying high enough. There's really... this is a noble luxury sail, and it's just, So she is the captain.
None could dare attack us up here.
Right. Nothing. And then you also have there's two other people that you've met on the ship. There's only probably a dozen or so people on the ship. A few other merchants, a few crew members. And the other person that you've met is the bosun, which is his name is Jackson Baker. Jackson is an older individual as well. He's got a big gray beard, human, is pulled into 3 different ringlet knots, and he carries around a saber similar to the captain. He also carries around something very interesting to you, but like a flintlock pistol. That's like a mastercraft pistol that a lot of people talk about. Wow, that's really cool. It's actually got a firearm, and it's actually masterwork designed by Smitty and West, the most well-known gunman in Waterdeep, and he carries that around. And the third person that you've met on the ship is another human by the name of Kasdan. Kasdan is traveling. He actually booked passage on this into like separately, and he's an elderly man as well, robes, longer beard, human, and he is a sage of some sort as he is traveling as well. So with that is our intro. You're on the ship and you're flying south. What is it? Anything you want to do while you're on the ship?
I will enjoy being nestled in the cradle of the gods. I mean, this is amazing. This is absolutely beautiful. I will enjoy this trip. I will, of course, compose poetry. And in this case, I will occasionally deign to speak with the humans. So this elderly human, the one that wears the robes, Kasdan, sage, I will seek to glean what wisdom he has.
He carries a staff, and he's like leaning on the staff. He goes, "Oh, good day to you, sir. How are you enjoying your trip?"
And a good day to you as well. Very well, obviously. Such sustained beauty. I mean, again, we live in the heavens. We travel in the clouds, right? How can one not enjoy this luxury? So I travel to Port Nyanzaru for business, and I assume you do as well, or is it pleasure?
Bit of both. Research is what I'm traveling for. And he kind of leans over and he goes, "Yes, I'm actually in search of a lost civilization, a city named Mesro. I'm a bit of an archaeologist myself."
Mesro. I see. I've dabbled in history, but tell me more about this Mesro. I'm afraid I'm unacquainted with it.
It's a very odd city, and we know of it because of writings and some things that we have found. But the thing that is interesting is that the local legend is that the Mesro just vanished. Completely vanished.
Entire civilizations don't often just vanish.
No.
Usually they were wiped out or annihilated or disease or invaders, of course. Was this from one of the ages of apocalypse past?
I believe it was. Yeah. I believe it sat on the sea and maybe it was swallowed by the sea. That is my theory.
Really, she is temperamental, that one.
Especially recently.
Have you determined any cause for that sort of thing?
I heard there was some uproar in Baldur's Gate. I heard rumor that she actually spoke to her followers there of how unhappy she was about something. I don't know. I can't believe those types of things, but that was what I heard from a bard.
Strange. Extremely unusual. Especially for Amberley to speak to her followers. That bodes ill for anyone with business on the seas.
I don't believe any time someone says they spoke to a god. That being said, if I were to believe in gods, Umberly would be quite angry, and she seems temperamental at best.
You say you don't believe in God?
I don't know. I believe in the arcane.
I believe in coin, and I believe in family. So I imagine that your belief in arcane is entirely possible for you. So, if I may ask, what sort of arcanum do you practice?
A bit of sorcery.
Sorcery?
Yes. As part of the Mages Guild in Waterdeep.
Well, I am very familiar with the Mages Guild. Again, you do a very good job of keeping the citizens and our businesses safe. I feel very comfortable and confident.
Well, I can't take any thanks for that. I'm more of a researcher. But I do appreciate your thanks.
Certainly. And so this civilization, Mesero, you say that the entire city just disappeared, or just the people?
Well, if Mesro disappeared so long ago, The people are long since gone, or perhaps they blended in with another civilization. It is unknown.
So you intend to go down by yourself, or you will?
I am planning to travel to Port Nanzaru and then hire some people to take me into the jungle.
I am somewhat curious now, because again, if the civilization is there, then perhaps there will be many historic items of antiquity.
Ah, yes, that is the hope. That is the hope of many, but people have been looking for this Mesero for years, but we'll see. I have a hunch. I have a theory that we'll find it on the coast.
You have a theory that it's on the coast?
Yes.
Which side of the coast?
Oh, no. That is my information. I have spoken too much. You have loosened my tongue more than it should.
Again, my sincerest apologies, sir. I merely meant to make conversation. I know next to nothing about Chult, besides the fact that Port Nyanzaru is where I must go to find the best jewels and raw gems for crafting, which is what I am. I am a jeweler. I'm a member of the Jewelers Guild.
Perfect. Well, you will find the market will be very, very bountiful for you there.
Certainly. That was the reason for my inquiry into this Mesero. I apologize. Again, I know nothing of Chult.
And as you are talking, you hear barking over your shoulder, the bosun Jackson tell everyone to brace themselves for incoming. He says, "Brace yourselves!" And you kind of look over, right, and you're kind of taken back. As you look over, you see everyone kind of like scurrying around the deck, and you see the bosun Jackson actually brandish the pistol, and he motions to you and to Kazdan, "Get below deck, the two of you, now!"
Very well. I will help the elderly gentleman, grab him by the elbow and help escort him down the stairs. And I will look to see what I might find. I mean, what is...
Quick perception check as you are rolling. You're basically grabbing Kazdan. You're standing by the deck to go down the below deck. And as you go down, you just kind of do a quick peek over your shoulder to see what you see. So, quick perception check. The first roll of Expedition Chult will be... What will it be? A mighty 4. Yeah, you don't see anything. All right. You look up, and all you see is there's so much. You're flying so high in the cloud. You just see cloud and the giant, blimp above you as you are moving down. Now, as soon as you are a few steps down, you hear like a screech. And you also hear the whole ship kind of like turns to the one side as everyone is kind of like trying to brace themselves going down the steps. Had you not already had your hand on a rail, you probably would have fallen. Kazdan as well has to like grab the rail and use his staff to kind of hold himself up as the entire ship kind of like starts moving from one side to the other. You look and you hear a gunshot go off behind you. And then you hear a lot of just mass chaos happening, and then you take another step down to try to get further down below, and then suddenly you hear what sounds to be like a ripping and a tearing, and all of a sudden the entire boat does this and kind of dips.
Oh.
What do you want to do?
Based on our safety briefing when we first got on board the ship, is there some kind of life preserver? Or...
You look around. There's not a life preserver. Basically, what they do is they have like these couches and they have like ropes, like these velvet ropes that you kind of like can hold on to. And you use that for like takeoff and for landing. And you see a couple of nobles like running over and getting on this, but it's more for show than anything else. It will hold you to the chair, but it's more like for comfort.
Right. Yeah. Just to make us feel better.
Right.
All right. I tell the old man, pardon me, sir, but I fear we might be in for a very rough landing. The balloon has been ripped, and unfortunately, we are soon to make land. Sooner rather than later.
But We just now were flying over Chult. We can't land in Chult.
No, we cannot land in Chult. Do you have anything that could possibly assist us?
He looks and goes, I should go up and try to help. I know a few enchantments that may be able to help. Help me to my feet.
Certainly. I will do so, and I will go ahead and then guide him back up the steps, and then make sure that when we get out, there's a rail, and also tie a rope around him.
Okay.
Then also tie one around myself as well.
All right, so as you're going up, he looks over. You see what looks like this giant flying lizard fly and take another rip out of the top.
Giant flying lizard.
You've never seen anything like this before. As this giant... Yeah, hold up. All right, so this giant thing, there's like 3 of them circling around or like going and using their talons to rip into it. You see another one go and pick off one of the crew members and then like with his legs and just fly him outside of the ship and drop him.
Okay. He's dropping him?
Yeah.
Just like grabs him and...
Drops him.
All right. I'm going to shout for the captain or the bosun. I'm going to point and point it to that crew member that just got dropped and say, Captain, bosun, is there anything we can do to fend them off?
And Jackson looks over. You look over at Jackson, who's reloading his pistol. He goes, "Get back below deck!" And you see the captain is actually has got a bow and she's firing it as well. So they're attacking these things as they're flying around. You look as the old man he stands up and he looks over. He goes, "I have it from here. Good, so go below deck." And he goes, but he reaches inside and he pulls out a potion. He goes, "If it should come down to a crashing, you should drink this.
Very well. What is it?"
It will lessen the fall."
I see. Thank you very much.
And with that, he turns and he reaches his hand out, and you see in his hand he's got this little orb, and it's like a giant pearl, and he reaches it and he points it, and you see these like magical darts shooting out of it and hitting one of the lizards as it's flying about.
You say it's a pearl?
Yeah.
What would the approximate value, and the quality of this pearl be? Just for mercantile purposes.
Right. Well, give me an intelligence check. You do get user proficiency modifier on this, so which will be, what are we at, 3 here?
Intelligence is a 12, so I got a +1.
And then another plus.
Like investigation.
Yeah.
So it's okay. +2. All right.
I love in the middle of the chaos. Did you say a gem? It's you could easily get 50 gold for that in any market.
All right, I'll remember that.
Just say it seemed flawless in its design. It's a good mid-size. It's a smooth pearl, right? So in the middle of all this chaos, you look up and you see like, that could be worth something. That's funny. Okay.
I'm a jeweler.
Right. So, all right. So with that, the entire side of the ship kind of turns to the side as the rigging begins to go. Give me an acrobatics check to try to stay standing.
Actually, my dexterity is really good. All right.
Randomly, because all his stats are completely random.
Yes. Do you want to talk about what I actually rolled?
No. We'll talk that later. Holy moly! Yeah. All right, so as you yes, air legs. So as the whole ship shifts to the side, you just instinctively put your hand up and catch the wall. So now the entire ship is sideways, and with that, you hear people screaming as they're being tossed off the deck. You look back, you don't see Kasdan anywhere. Because basically you're in the hall. Like the steps going down, you were basically at that, and he handed you that. You turned, you caught yourself, you look back because the boat is sideways at this point. Kasdan's missing, and the ship seems to be like going down quickly.
Okay, I'm gonna just peek my head out to look and see if there's anybody else up on deck.
You're like basically at that point where the wind is moving so fastly that you're like 0Ging it. So you're basically like holding down. You look up.
Right, I'll go ahead I'll go ahead and down the potion.
Okay. You reach in, you fumble. There's a brief second where the potion leaves your hand. You grab it, you drink it quickly. As you drink it, you become lighter than the air itself, and you see the ship. You basically leave the ship as the ship crashes. You didn't realize how close you were to crashing into the canopy. As the ship goes down and crashes, you are now hovering above it, and the wind is kind of carrying you east of where the ship dropped this way. You're going this way.
All right, can I kind of drop or control my descent to, like, go down faster now?
Give me an Arcana check.
Yeah. Not bad. I mean, again, actually, I am skilled in this just from knowing what it takes for.
Well, you're crafting jewelry, right? Crafting has been the thing.
Exactly. So this one I have 20 plus 3. Let's hope I'm still hot.
Yes, you can. Yeah. You absolutely can. Natty. All right, so where do you want to land? You basically are you going to try to get you're shifting You're shifting east. You look around, you see right now is the ship going far away from you.
I want to try to land towards the ship. I want to try to land as close to the ship as I can.
You look down, you see what looks to be a river. And then you also see the ship that's going into like a lot of big trees. So do you want to like be near the big trees or near the river?
I'm going to go into the big trees.
Okay, you want to try to get as close as you can. Okay.
Yes, because I'm going to need the ship for supplies.
Gotcha. Okay. So you end up landing. You do an extremely well job of kind of like moving with the wind and kind of shifting. You get pretty close to the boat. The ship itself, it crashes just over a small ridge of where you landed. You're actually way closer to it than you would have been. And you end up falling and then landing safely in Chult.
Yeah, but I'm alone in Chult.
You are, in fact...
And I'm in Chult.
Alone in Chult.
Oh, man.
Expedition Chult has begun!
Oh, man.
And at this point...
did not make the right character for this campaign.
No, you rolled it randomly, so you are a high elf jeweler alone in Chult. Alone in Chult. Oh, I know.
Alone in Chult.
Alone in Chult. Alone in Chult. Okay.
Oh, man.
All right, so you land... and you immediately start looking around. Your ears perk up as you hear like this cacophony sound of animals and roars in the distance, and you sense just everything around you is bustling with life. It's loud. You hear the distant rumbling of the crash as the ship seems to be crashing from tree to tree and being broken apart. You can hear echoing through the trees things breaking. Around you, you can hear rustling. And not that far to the left, you turn and you hear a very strange growl. Almost like a roar.
Growl?
Yeah, you've never heard anything like this before, and it's broken. It goes to roar, it's like, and it's weird, but it definitely sounds monstrous.
Is it in pain?
It sounds in pain, but also angry. No, it sounds big.
All right, I'm going to hide behind a big tree. Is there a way to climb a tree, maybe, and get to some safety?
Sure. You want to do an athletics check to kind of climb up in a tree?
Yes, I'm no common wood elf, but I guess...
No common wood elf. I love the arrogance that you've brought into this character already. It's great. And I'm going to love to just see the evolution of this as we get going. All right.
Yeah.
So give me an athletics check as you're going to try to climb a tree. Perfect.
Yes.
You climb. You're able to. There's good branches. You climb up a tree, and as you look around, behind you, just behind you, you hear a voice whisper, You know that thing that hunts you can climb trees.
Oh, I did not know that, but I figured it would be safer in a tree than on the ground. Where I'm much slower than that thing. And by the way, thank you for your presence, spirit, or my subconsciousness.
You turn your head and look, and there's this owl looking at you, and turn his head and he goes, I'm not a spirit. Did you hit your head when you landed?
Don't believe that I did, but I'm unfamiliar with you. Are you a familiar?
Familiar? No. My name is Bo.
Bo?
You look at this owl, and this is a very strange looking owl. He in the feathers itself, he seems to have like these runic carvings, like not carvings, but like designs in his feathers. His eyes also slightly glow blue, and he's looking over at you, and he kind of turns his head. And he goes, "Are you okay?"
No, unfortunately, I am very much not okay. I'm in a very foreign place, very far away from home. I have no idea of how to get where I need to be, or even what those things were that brought us down here in the middle of nowhere. I'm not okay.
Oh, the Terrafolk. The Terrafolk. You were attacked by the Terrafolk.
Terrafolk. Yes, I imagine I was. Terrafolk. I am unfamiliar with these savage things.
I would highly recommend getting out of this tree unless you can fly. You need to run. That thing is getting close.
Well, I will run. I'm going to try to run towards the ship.
No. I know a safer place. Just down here. Yes, you want to follow?
And please lead, and I will follow.
Sure. So he kind of flaps his wings, and you like slowly climb down the tree. He goes, "Oh, you need to hurry before the 6-armed gorilla comes and beats you to death."
6-armed gorilla? Oh my goodness!
And from the sound of that one, it might be already undead. We best hurry.
Undead? Undead 6-armed gorilla. Let's make haste, please.
Do you know nothing of Chult?
I know nothing of Chult besides the fact that it has large gyms, of which I'm supposed
Quickly,
to...
run! All right, and so...
Yes, yeah, all right, I will blindly run.
You're blindly running through the jungle. You're chasing this strange owl through the jungle. You see him like fly up and sit on this large boulder, and as you get closer to the boulder, you see that the boulder actually has like a carved face, like a hand-carved face in it. He goes, this way. Do you need supplies? Yes?
Yes.
Yes, good. You follow me. You get closer, and as you're walking, you're kind of splashing through like a very like a pool of water that's probably like this deep, and he's flying around it, and he looks at you as you're splashing. He goes, no, run around.
Run around the water. That's what I see.
That is what you see.
The statue.
These statues, and you also see the steps of what's like an old forgotten like a temple in the middle of the jungle. And you see the water there. There's the algae kind of like floating up to the top, and it kind of has this weird smell to it. And you're trying to basically like balance and run around some of the larger pools of water because I mean heaven knows what's in that thing. And you see the bird go and he lands right here where I'm pinging on top of this, and he goes, "No, come."
I will follow.
All right, so you follow.
Mercy, Bob, please.
All right, you follow, and he lands. He looks around, and you see him looking over his shoulder. So, good. We have time. Look, this fellow here should have things for you. You look over, and you see at the foot of this, there seems to be like a large rock that rolled out of the temple, and you see a body laying there, and the rock is like basically landed on the crushed head of what looks to be the remains of a dwarf. So you see this body laying there with this giant boulder, and you just see him like laying down in the mud with this giant boulder on its head. He goes, he had short, stubby legs. He wasn't fast enough. You seem fast enough.
My gratitude. sincerely. And I will go ahead and apologize to the fallen dwarf as I go ahead and acquire his items.
Okay, so you reach down. He has a satchel. You open the satchel. It's empty, but it is a good bag. It's like a crossover like satchel.
All right, I'll take the man purse.
Okay, yeah, you take the man purse. You look down. You also see that he is holding a spear. And now you pick up the spear. Now this is going to be one of the items that was randomly rolled by the people in Discord. So you can thank this one actually came from Daddy DM in Discord, rolled this up, and you pick up a very intricate looking spear. It's very odd, and it's very light and masterfully made. In fact, it seems to have a magical essence to it.
Ooh, the spear of the Didium. All right.
All right. So if you go to does this pop up on your screen?
Whoa, that's awesome.
Okay, so you can see it now?
Yeah, I can see that. That is cool.
Yeah, so this is a very strange, like, masterfully made spear. Seems to have some magical qualities to it. And as you're looking at the spear, your eyes kind of gleam over, and there's something that in your inner being gets really interested as you look down and you see that he has a pouch on the side of his belt as well. You reach over and you grab the pouch, and this was rolled by Caleb in our group. You open up the pouch and you look in and you see 6 gems inside the pouch. Just assorted sizes. You've got some emeralds, you've got a ruby, just assorted gems. So 6 assorted gems, which you're super excited since you're a jeweler of what you could possibly do with this.
Yes. Do much with these 6 assorted gems. I will definitely require these 6 assorted gems. All right, my day is looking much better.
All right, so you've got your spear, you've got the pouch, you've got some gems that you just acquired, and you're about to leave, and you hear the owl Bo goes, no, grab the belt, and you look, and you have to kind of pull part of his body out of the muck, and when you do that, there's all these like maggots and things that are like eating through his flesh, and you have to kind of like slide this. It's a big belt. It's not like a standard belt. It's like a massive belt. You pull this belt off and you pull it up. The front of the belt actually has a face, like a big face on it, like the buckle itself. And this was rolled up by I think this was Eric. Yeah, this is Eric. So Eric in Discord rolled this up. So you need to thank Eric because this is an amazing belt. So
the belt of Eric.
The belt of Eric, right. All right, so handout, I will show to players. So now you can see what this belt looks like. It's leather, it has metal clasping around it, and it has this giant face on it. So
Dwarf. I was thinking it was going to be a belt of dwarven kind. I was prepared to laugh. I don't know what that is. All right, cool. It's like the belt from Prometheus.
It's interesting. All right, so the question, are you...
The belt on.
There you go. I don't care if it's cursed. We're putting it on. All right, so you put the belt on. Just fits snug. You know, you tighten it up. Okay, nothing major. As you're looking around, you can hear there's a rustling in the distance of whatever this is that's coming. And the...
Is there what?
The owl looks and goes, "Can I help you?" "Yes."
Is there a place we may go for safety?
"We could go inside the temple, but I think you should look inside the bag."
Very well, I will do so.
You look inside the bag and you see a giant book inside the bag. You looked before, it wasn't there, and you open it up, now there's a giant book.
All right. Very well, I will open up the book.
You open up the book and you feel something in the book actually pulling at you, and there's a moment where you black out and you turn around and you look around again and you're in a different wood. You have somehow been moved from where you were to somewhere else. And you're looking around and you see these massive strange trees that you've never seen before. You see it's as far as the eye could see, you see owls everywhere. Just massive, big 3-4 foot tall owls. going from branch to branch, flying over, and you hear them all speaking, but you don't understand what they're saying. But they're definitely speaking. It's not a cooing. It's not hoo hoo. They're speaking, but you don't understand what they're saying, and they're all kind of looking at you. But I'm not kidding. You probably see a couple dozen of these owls flying around. You also looked at a lot of these trees have these little alcoves, and you just see books and parchment and scrolls. It's almost like a forest library that all of these owls are circling about.
Amazing. I have somehow been transported to the owls of Gal. What is it called?
And they're all kind of cooing and everything. And you see a couple of them kind of motioning you forward.
I will do so. I will look towards Bo. Is he still there?
No.
All right. In that case, I'll go towards the ones who are motioning me towards me.
Okay. So you kind of move forward as you kind of moving through this it's like a glade with all these massive trees and everything, and the air here is sweet. Everything about this place is calm. You can actually hear the light music being played into the distance. Everything about this place is serene and just feels enchanted. Like it's just the calmest, most amazing place you've ever been. It's just serene is the word. And as you walk in, you walk around, and at the top of this like cut in wooden like staircase up to the top, you see an owl sitting there, which is interesting. They have a staircase because they can all fly, but there is like it's like cut out staircase moving up, and at the top you see like this brambled cut up what was like it's a place that would have held a throne, but it's a giant nest. And in this giant wooded nest, you see another owl sitting there as well. Okay, so this will be under NPCs.
Whoa. Very cool owl.
Okay. And this owl looks over, and she begins speaking, and at first you don't hear her. And as she speaks, she stops, and you can hear her start like sing like a song, like a coo song. And as that happens, you feel like this warmth in your ears, and all of a sudden you begin to hear clearly what all of the owls are speaking about. And then she looks down at you and goes, "I am Empress Dayu. You have traveled here from that Faerun, correct?"
Yes, my lady.
And Bo has sent you.
He has.
Oh, perfect. I would very much need your help if you would be so kind to oblige.
Certainly. I believe we might help one another, and it would be my great honor to help you, my lady. How do you need my assistance?
I would like to learn more about this Faerun. It seems that our world and your world are somehow connected, and only in the last 6 months have we seen 2 different times that things have traveled from your world to our world. And we are protectors of this the wooded realm of Mystara.
The wooded realm of Mystara, you say?
Yes. And Faerun and Mystara are connected. And recently, things have been traveling from Faerun and moving to Mystara. And we would like to know more about Faerun. We seek knowledge, and we like to know more about this world that seems to be invading our own.
I see. I'm certain it is unintentional, but I would be more than happy to educate you and to share my knowledge with you.
No, your knowledge is not what we seek. You have the satchel. And you look, the man purse, the satchel. So,
Okay.
if you agree to, in your travels, if you find any books, scrolls, tomes of knowledge, if you would deposit it into the book, in the satchel, it will show up here for us to read and be in our library.
Ah, yes. You wish me to retrieve books for your library.
Yes.
Certainly. It would be my pleasure. And in return, you will...
I will give you the power of the owls, of the Shao.
Certainly. In that case, if I would gain the wisdom of the Shao, that would be truly beneficial.
So we only require 2 things. You must deposit knowledge into the books, and you must also pledge to protect the wood and all of its inhabitants, just in Faerun as you would here in Mystara.
See, I must protect the wood, as I would here. Very well, Your Majesty. I will do my best to do so. I will share knowledge, and I will protect the wood.
Good, good. Then we have a pact, yes?
We have a pact. We have an agreement. Yes.
Good, good. And with that, she begins to sing again. And with that, you feel strange as this song begins to enchant you, and you begin to pick up the power of the Fae, this Arc Fae that has transported you here. Time seems to, you kind of lose track of time as you are picking up these abilities. Also, you look around and you see that Bo is here, and his whole demeanor has kind of changed. He goes, yes, welcome. You will now be our emissary to Faerun, correct?
I will, in fact, be your emissary.
I will guide you on your journey. You may call me Sifu.
Sifu.
Sifu Bo. Sifu Bo.
Sifu Bo. Very well, Sifu Bo. Again, I wonder if it was chance that allowed us to meet, or if it was by design.
Oh, it was most definitely chance. It was most definitely chance. Our last emissary, the poor dwarf, he failed in his mission, so I went to find someone else. And you are that someone else.
Again, you have my sincerest appreciation, and I will do my best to bring knowledge to this wood, and also to protect the wood. But if I might inquire, what of the others in the ship? I was in that shipwreck. Were they alive? Do you know?
We could go back to return, and if you were to fail in your mission, I guess they could help us as well.
True, but in this case, I feel an obligation to help them.
I see. First, before we go back, and your, I believe one of your companions may get mauled by that gorilla, but before we go back, I believe you should understand how some of your abilities work. You'll now be able to have the wisdom of the Shao. You'll be able to read anything. You'll be able to summon the energy to attack and defend yourself from your hand. And he kind of shows you how to use some of your very early warlock blessing that you've got now. So the Eldritch Blast and things of that nature, and how to use some of your spells and your abilities. He goes, and sometimes you must confuse. And he's having like this training session with you in this glade as he's teaching you how to move from shadow to shadow, as how to duplicate and to basically use the enchantment from Dayu, the Empress, in your favor. Also, all of this training quickly just seems to make you tougher and more resilient than you were before, because you've spent your life in just working jewelry. You've never really exercised outside of just walking back and forth. So you have a very low constitution. We will call it your dump stat. But this training helps you slightly in that horrible random roll that you had.
We overcome my weakness.
Slightly.
I get a training montage.
You get a training montage, and after you have your training montage with Sifu Bo, he then says, well, now it is time for you to go back and take the little that you have learned and see if you can use it, and if not, I will find someone else to help us.
Very well. Perhaps if I do find others, I will also send them to you as well. But again, thank you very much for your wisdom, Bo.
Sure. Shall we return? Use the book.
Yes, let us.
And this giant book of ancients, this ancient book that you've got, you open it up, and then as you blink, you turn as if only moments had passed in Faerun. You've now returned exactly where you're standing.
It felt like days had passed, right? I had the whole
right.
montage.
Yeah. So you've been gone for what felt like days, and now you're back exactly where you were, and you hear this roar in the distance, and you hear another gunshot.
Action. I run.
You run and you follow the water until we get to this scene. Shambling and kind of moving with all these massive legs and arms and everything. You see this giant gorilla with its flesh hanging off. You can kind of see through part of him as it's kind of getting eaten away, and even from the distance you can almost pick up the smell of rotted flesh as this thing's kind of trumping through the jungle, and it's roaring and growling and snarling. And then you also see on the bridge here, you see Jackson, and we will also show everyone that one as well. So that's what Jackson looks like. So he's running. He's got sword in one hand. He's got his pistol in the other. You can see the smoke coming out of the edge of the pistol as he just fired backwards at this giant gorilla, and now he's kind of running. So at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to enter initiative. So I'm going to come down here and we're going to add some turns. I'm going to pull up there's a turn order. Can you see that? Okay. So everybody here gets a turn. Sifu Bo will be going on your turn for now and always. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to roll for Jackson. And Jackson is going to be going at a mighty 11. And then the 16 for the zombie gorillan. And then finally, Corundus, what are you going at? Roll your initiative.
I'm going to go on
a 10. All right, so you're going to go last, which is fine. You've just moved up.
Yeah. I'm running in.
The gorilla gets to go first, the zombie gorilla, and he's going to move 1, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 50. He's going to get right up to him. He's going to spend his entire turn running and dashing, and he just basically leaps and lands right on top of... We'll kind of zoom this in. There we go. Right on top, right next to Jackson. So that's going to be his turn. Jackson's going to turn, and he's going to basically just sling his sword out and try to stab at the gorilla. He misses. He misses hard, and he ends up staggering backwards as he swings and misses. Now it is your turn.
All right, I'm going to move up. Just move up to right here where I can see the gorilla
on the bank.
And as a bonus action, I'm gonna cast Hex.
Okay.
About hexing.
Okay.
And then I'm going to Eldritch Blast.
All right, so the gorilla gets hexed, and then you Eldritch Blast. Now, let me ask a question. This is something I like to do. Explain to me, what does your Eldritch Blast look like? How does it cast?
Question.
How does it cast?
My Eldritch Blast, after seeing magic cast by Asden from that pearl, got that pearlescent white color. It's going to be that kind of a blast, almost like Lopan, where he shoots light. He's got light instead of light coming out of his mouth. Light comes out of his hand.
Okay. All right, I dig it. All right, so this is white light that you're going to shoot out. Okay.
Yeah, it's that pearlescent white light.
Okay. So the hex, it goes. You see this green energy kind of fall over him, and then you're going to light him up with the light. So let's give us our first Eldritch Blast.
Yes. All right. 1d20 plus 6. Crossing fingers. Come on. What is it?
Yes. His second natty. The first time he rolls Eldritch Blast, he nails it with a crit. So give me some crit damage for your Eldritch Blast. That is great.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. 2d10 plus 2d6. Come on, roll high.
Okay,
right,
17 is still really, really good. Okay, holy cow.
Yes.
That is amazing. Okay, hold up. Let me get you going here. All right. So you've done 17. All right, so this... Yes, 15, 16, 17 damage. All right, so as you do that blast, it hits its shoulder. It rips back. You see one of its arms completely fall off as you hit the shoulder and just severed whatever was hanging that thing left. So he's down an arm. from that attack. So it kind of stumbles back. You hear it like roar back, like, "Argh!" And it's still like the closer you get to this thing, the more you see just like the rotted flesh and things. Like you can actually see through part of it as it's kind of lashing out. He's gonna reach up and attack. Sifu. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. No, he's gonna fly to here. He flies to here and lands on the perch. That's as far as he's gonna get. So he's landing there. Okay. That's what he's gonna do. All right, and then he lands, and then he's kind of like looking over, and he's looking back at you. If the owl could sit there with his arms crossed and judge you, that is what he is doing. He's just basically watching you to see if you're worthy of this power that Dayu has given you. He's just watching right now. So that's what he's doing. All right. With that, the gorilla is going to attack. Normally, the gorilla gets more attacks than this, but because it's down an arm, it will make his 3 attacks miss, hit on that. So one of those attacks will hit okay. Oh, so Jackson, he basically gets slammed. He gets pushed back on the railing as he's kind of like trying to not fall through the rickety bridge that he's on. And then after that attack hits, the gorilla reaches out and tries to bite him as well.
All right.
And misses. He at the last second before that would have just like clapped on the jaws, would have clapped down on the skull of Jackson. You see Jackson kind of pull back. You see his beard kind of fly around as it just barely misses his head. And that is now Jackson's turn. So Jackson is now going to go back and try to stab into the gorilla.
Okay.
He misses. He takes a step back, and he's going to try to surge forward and hit again. And he misses that as well. So he's just like swinging and missing, but he's fighting defensively. It's like he's stepping back, trying not to get mauled by this thing. With that, it is now Corundus' turn.
All right. I'm going to Eldritch Blast again with the Hex, and I'm going to hold my ground where I am.
Okay.
Let's see. How badly injured does Jackson look?
It's hard to tell. Actually, give me a medicine check. Because medicine's also anatomy. If you just want to kind of give him a look over real quick.
Yeah, just to see.
He looks okay. It's hard to tell. He's a big sturdy guy.
You know what? If I can maybe, you know what? I'll just keep blasting.
Okay, all right. You look at it. He's fine. Blast. Very good. All right, so roll your damage. You hit again. All right, so with that, you do a second blast, hitting the same shoulders you did before. Roll your damage. Oh, man, you were rolling really hot. All right. Okay, so with that, you hit that same shoulder. It goes through its body, and you see it blast out the other side of his other shoulder. That other arm falls off as you shot through it. So now it's down 2 arms. It's going to continue to move forward and now attack. No, Sifu Bow. Sifu Bow at this point, after seeing that blast, it takes its opportunity to fly over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's going to attack the gorilla as well.
Okay.
He's going to peck at him.
Yes,
he is. He's gonna crit peck. Okay.
Oh, man.
All right. And then, as a flyby attack, it's going to move.
Yeah.
And land on.
It's one of the Guardians of Ga'Hoole.
And he's going to land. He's going to basically. He swings by. He just rakes it with the claws, and then moves, and then lands back on this rock behind him. Also, before we move any further, the 6-armed zombie gorilla you can thank Danny for.
Really?
Yeah, this was his random encounter. All right, so boys in Discord delivering the loot and the encounter for today. All right, so with that, we go back up to the gorilla, who now will have 2 attacks to attack Jackson with its remaining arms. It's going to miss with one, hit with the other. Let's see if Jackson can live. Still got that bite coming. Okay. That one, he socks him across the face. You see blood kind of shoot out of his mouth as he kind of turns to the side, and he's basically the side of his face is now kind of ripped up from the bite from the paw attack of this thing. Then the gorilla's going to reach in for the bite.
Woo.
And it will miss. It will miss.
Yes.
He goes to bite. It bites into, he's wearing this white shirt, and as he bites into that shirt, it rips, and you see that he's got some type of chainmail on up under the shirt itself, and he bites into that chainmail as he kind of falls backwards. He got a chain shirt under it. And with that, we go to Jackson's turn, who then will turn around and try to hit him again with his rapier. He's defending. He's just defending, trying to hold this thing back. He's trying, but he's just not getting there. It's close. All right. And with that, it goes back to you.
All right.
Are we still just Eldritch Blasting away?
Of course. Absolutely.
That will actually hit.
Yeah, and give it... Yes.
It will hit. Now, know that you're rolling +6 on this, because why don't you tell everyone what you randomly rolled for your charisma?
For my charisma, I rolled an 18.
Yeah, it was you randomly rolled Warlock and then randomly rolled an 18 for charisma.
Yes.
But that 9 Constitution sucks.
Constitution is hurting.
9
My
Constitution
is hurting.
Right. All right, so you take the shot. Again, let's roll some damage. It was 9-1. All right. So another 4 points of damage. It's a solid hit. You continue to hit it. And with that, the mighty Sifu bow will fly behind it, attacking and rolling with advantage on this peck attack. It's going to do a little attack here and see what he can come up with.
Yes, another crit.
Another crit! So Sifu Boo flies behind him, does this flyby attack.
Owl of Gahul. Get the guardian of Gahul. That is what this thing is.
He's just rakes across the back of this thing. After he's going to continue flying off, carrying part of the flesh of the back. He basically ripped the flesh off of his back, and he just continues to fly, drops the flesh into the water, and then lands right back here on the post. And he lands, and he looks at you, and he kind of does a bow. He bows.
Yeah.
All right.
That's too quick.
All right. All right. Now from there, let's see. We're gonna go to the gorilla's turn. The gorilla still has 2 attacks on Jackson. Attack. One of those is gonna hit. Let's see what it ends up being. Jackson's coming. He's really hurt. This one, he actually punches him, and he kind of leans forward. As he leans forward, he's going to go in for that devastating looking bite. And he lands it. He lands the bite. He lands the bite.
Oh no, Jackson.
Okay, so that doesn't look bad, but it's actually 6 damage. He clamps down on the neck of Jackson and starts barreling down on him. He's actually grappled at this point. And now it is Jackson's turn. He's going to try to break free of the grapple. And he does not. He's basically he's just like, oh no! And this gorilla is just on top of him, basically he's eating him at this point.
He's still shell-shocked from the crash.
Right. All right, so with that, it is now back to your turn. What are you going to do as Jackson is getting eaten by the zombie gorilla?
I'm going to have to jump in and step in. I'm going to Eldritch Blast him, and then I'm going to move to let him attack me.
It's going to be tough. Because it's basically you're on a 5-foot bridge.
Yeah, I'm going to blast him first.
Well, roll the blast. Let's see how you do.
If I run up. Yeah.
Another hit. You've been just hot with the Eldritch Blast. All right, so another white light comes out. Roll your damage, D10 plus the hex damage. Let's see what we end up with here.
I'm on it. Okay.
We'll take it. We'll take it. 10. Okay.
That's some steady damage.
All right. With that blast coming out as the giant gorilla is basically leaned over and eating the Jackson, what does this look like as you kill the beast? What does this look like?
Yes. So just as the massive gorilla is about to bite into Jackson's face and end his life, like those jaws are looming down, and then there's this white beam of light that just kind of like shoots through and comes out the other side, and then the beast is just looming, and then the light goes out of like in the glare and the menacing light just goes out of its face, and it just collapses down on top of Jackson. And so where it's like, once it was like that look of death in right in his face, suddenly the beast is just on him, but it slumps over lifeless, and Jackson will live.
Well, Jackson is unconscious, and Jackson needs to make a death saving throw.
Yeah, can I try to help him somehow?
Yes! He passed. Right. He passed the first one. All right, so he's bleeding out on the bridge.
A medicine check or something?
Yes, you can. You can go do a medicine check to try to basically stop the bleeding.
I'll do that.
There are so many wounds here. You're running up. You don't know what to do. It's his turn. He's going to roll again.
Yes.
He's passing 2.
All right.
One more chance with the medicine check. See if you can do it. He's just kind of in shock at this point. Is there anything you're going to do different? Because the first time you got up there and you looked over, and you're just seeing like this guy bleeding out. It doesn't look as fatal, but he's in bad shape. What do you want to do now? Like, you can see he's still bleeding, but...
You know what? Does he have any potions or anything like that on him? Like something that I can...
You start going through, you see, like, he's got a pouch of these little, like the pistol balls, and that's, like, the first thing that you find. You could just basically take that pouch and just, like, stump it over and try to stop bleeding.
Yeah, I'll do that. Actually, you know what? His white shirt that he was wearing, he was looking all...
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, just, rip the shirt off and use that. Okay. All right, so you rip his shirt and you're trying to... So give me another medicine check and see if you're able to do that. No. You're ripping the shirt and...
I'm a jeweler.
You're a jeweler. You really don't know what you're doing here. This is... All right.
Jeweler, not a surgeon.
All right.
Jackson, I please forgive me, sir. I am unable to find...
It's a fail. It's a fail. So at this point, we're just going to have to see if Jackson lives. Because I gave you 2. He lives. Okay.
Yes!
All right. So he ends up stabilizing. Not that you helped in any way other than rip his shirt. So Jackson lives.
Hey, I stanched the wound.
Okay. All right. So Jackson lives. He is very beat down. What do you want to do? He's barely conscious.
Right. Yeah, I asked him if he's got any kind of healing or anything of that sort.
No. Maybe on the ship.
Very well, my friend. Where is it?
Just behind me. And as he says that, you hear Sifu Bo reach over and goes, I suggest going back to the temple before the rest of those things come in.
Rest of those things?
Yes, I believe there are a few more coming.
Very well. Right, I'm gonna put Jackson in a fireman's carry and carry him to the temple.
Not a problem. You pick him up, and he, as heavy as he is, you lift him over your shoulder like it's no problem at all. At all. You just pick him up, the adrenaline in the moment, you're carrying him, and it seems that the magic on that belt is making you stronger than you normally would be, as if you have the strength of an ogre.
Are you serious?
Your strength is 21.
Didium! Oh no, who was the belt? Who was that?
The belt of
the belt of Eric.
The belt of Eric. Yes. So the belt of Eric, you pick up your so this Phalok now has a strength of 21 and a magic spear to go with it.
Yes.
All right.
Dude, I'm set.
I'm set. So let's do it. All right, so you fire him and carry him back to the temple.
All right.
You get to the temple. You, Bo, and Jackson, you climb the stairs. You get to the doors, which are sealed shut, and it has this strange writing on it. But as soon as you get to that strange writing, your eyes kind of glow over with this green, and the jumbled letters that you normally wouldn't understand, you suddenly can understand because of your pact. And as you look over it, there's an incantation, and as soon as you read that incantation, the doors begin to open to the temple. And with that, we will pick up next week.
Very fun.
Good start. Good start.
Yeah, GG.
All right, so we'll pick up next week for episode 2 as we see our amazing voice actor Bob Carter see if he can tackle the unknown temple in Chult. So with that, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks.